What's up, fam? I'm your host, Jack Settleman. Joining me today, as always, my co-host and longtime best friend, Abe Granoff. Today, we're not in the stew.
It doesn't hit. It doesn't hit when we're not in there. I don't feel like doing it.
We have to do it now because we've got people who don't want to see us do it. So obviously, we're going to do it. We haven't been in the stew for a little. That's obviously on me. A lot of travel recently, but Abe, what is on your mind today? We've missed a lot.
We've got a lot's on my mind, Jack. We have a lot to talk about this episode. Last time we spoke, I believe, outside of the draft series, which has been coming out this week, was like a little over a week ago. The NBA playoffs first round had just kind of started.
Game one. We did game ones. Who was dead and alive?
No, I think we did some other. I think we might have did. That was it. Game one. Wow, a lot has happened. So let's get right into it.
It's been all us. Like everything is related to our squad. So who are you starting with?
Welcome to the second round, brother. The New York Knicks. Welcome to the second round. It's a good place to be. It's a good place to be. I'll let you start. You know, you said from the start Knicks in 5. I almost wagered it on it with you. Thankfully, I did not. Thankfully, you took the government's money that you have to pay taxes on. Government, if you're listening to this, make sure you tax him out the ass. But how are you feeling? Headed to round 2. And, Jack, there's two of my favorite and least favorite words in sports are right in front of you. The path. The path is there. The Jalen Brunson, Sally.
How do I feel? Yeah, Knicks in 5, as I predicted. Light work. It's actually pretty funny. This series went identical to Knicks Hawks in 2020-21.
But Oppo Taco.
Yeah, Oppo Taco. Close game 1, come back, win at home. Everyone's like, all right, they're fine. Smoke them out at home and then go on the road and finish the deal. What did those Hawks do? They went on the road, and they took down the Sixers, advanced to the conference finals. The Knicks have an even better path in front of them. They host the 8 seed. Yeah, I get it. Jimmy Butler, Michael B. Jordan. But the Heat are the 8 seed. They were the 8 seed for a reason. So Jimmy Butler is going to have to carry them. Bam's obviously a solid player, but outside of that, they just got some guys. They just got guys that'll throw you all day. If those guys make shots, you kind of, then you start asking questions. But if Julius Randle's healthy and Quentin Grimes is coming back, the Knicks are the favorites in the series. They hold home court. The Knicks are hosting a round 2 playoff series. That's like the most wild thing, the most wild part of the whole thing. You get the Garden, which I think has actually made an impact. Will it disrupt the Heat like it did the Cavs? Probably not. More experienced team, more cultured team. But if you're the Knicks, like the whole goal was to win a playoff series this year. But now it's like, do what you can do now.
Finals or bust.
Don't say. Yeah, go to the conference finals.
Finals or bust. Oh, you can't be here with the path. You can't host a second round playoff series.
The path still does run through Boston. To be clear.
You cannot host a second-round playoff series and not think that you can get to the finals. That's not how the second round works.
Fully think we can get there. No doubt in my mind that
and then the ball bounces a few times.
I understand. I'm just saying I'm locked in on round 2. Take care of business on Sunday.
Hey, man, listen, you guys handled the Cavs with absolute light work. It's like the Spider-Man meme of Donovan Mitchell in Utah versus Donovan Mitchell in Cleveland come the first round of the playoffs. And going into this Heat series, you guys should be fairly confident. I think, to break it down, the Heat have the better coach, the coaching advantage. The Heat have the best player in the series. Don't do the whole Brunson, Jimmy Butler thing. Just stop. And then the Knicks have the better team around them. That's what it comes down to.
They got the better team. They got the better crowd. They got the better shooting. They got the better defense. They got the better offense. They got the better arena. They got the better looking fans. They got the better pizza.
I don't think that's true about the fans.
Don't?
There's some ugly people in New York City. You and I.
That's true.
You and I. But you should feel confident. And the second round.
I like how you are giving me like this little therapy session. Guys,
I've been here a lot.
But you don't know anything about it. You don't know anything about getting it done. That's what I'm saying. It feels It just feels wrong, the angle you're taking of, oh, this is how you navigate this round. The fuck do you know? What do you know about getting through this round? When was the last time you escaped past this round? What is this
2001.
confidence? What is this confidence that you're like, here's how you navigate the second round? If you were telling me what not to do, then I'd be all ears. But it's like the Lifetime Bachelor giving me marriage advice. Like, Abe.
Hey, Sixers, Celtics, second round. Hello, darkness, my old friend. It's here. And listen, at the end of the day, no matter, the goal is to win a championship with this team. And no matter how you're going to do that, you have to go through them at the end of the day. Whether it's the second round, whether it's the conference finals, you are never going to escape these playoffs without playing a Boston or Milwaukee. Now, the path is there once you get past, and this is essentially the Eastern Conference Finals in Sixers-Boston. But there are 3 letters, Jack, that are looming over my head that I sleep in bed next to every night and wake up and stare at. And those 3 letters are LCL. And it's just Joel's knee. I have been scouring WebMD, the internet, Reddit for every piece of information that I can on a sprained LCL. And it's just so fucking upsetting that the Bucks get knocked out, you're getting Boston, and game 3 he goes down. I don't even remember him going down. He finished the play by coming across the paint and having the game-winning block in that same game. And then he has a sprained ACL. Now, I can get into the conspiracy theories about it all, the smoke screens that we're putting out, the fact that the NBA made this MRI happen and faked these MRI results so they didn't have to suspend Joel Embiid after he kicked Nick.
What? Why? Like, why?
Because I'm sick in the head.
No. I get why the conspiracy on Jordan's gambling, but, like, why wouldn't they just suspend him for one game?
Well, they've already had enough heat on what's going. I mean, these playoffs have been the playoffs of the referees controlling, cock shots, and suspensions. And that's what it's been. And the NBA has taken a lot of blame for that, and that's why they didn't want to suspend Joel. But Ice Trey, little lollipop boy with the pubes on his head, was able to extend the series against Boston and give Joel a little bit extra rest. And now it's time to play ball. I think he's going to play game 1. They're all saying he's not going to be 100%. Fuck that. Joel's out there. Play ball. That's how it works. There's no 100% this. Will he wear the brace? Maybe. But if he does wear the brace, I see that coming off by the first half of game 1. Now, the Sixers have not won. Here's a stat. The Sixers have not. The last time we won a second round series was in 2001 when we went to the finals. The Sixers have not won a game 1 in the second round since 1982. 1982. Head to Boston on the road. And
so so you're saying if they steal game 1, watch out.
We're fully winning this series. I'm financially invested. I'm emotionally invested. We're winning this series. Boston can be had.
Why?
I'm locked in. Why? Because they can. Yeah. Because they crumble in late game situations. Because they can't be trusted. Because I don't trust Mazzulla as a coach. And because we have the best player in this series, bar none.
This is
team,
the problem.
What has kept us away from Boston before? And you're going to spin it all. The lack of maturity. The lack of leadership. The lack of dog. Jack, it's how it works, right?
Is PJ Tucker the difference? Is he the difference?
Hey, man, I will tell you. You know what they say. January, February, March, PJ Tucker, July. That's the order it goes, brother.
You skipped.
April, May, June.
To May. You didn't. Oh.
Yeah, PJ Tucker covers April, May, and June.
PJ. Oh, he has 3 months. Got it. Yeah. All right, so because we've got some Boston people who will be listening to this, you said you don't trust Joe Mazzulla. You trust Doc? You trust Doc? Okay, you said you're the best player in the series.
1 for 1. Keep going.
You said you're the best player in the series. Is 80% of Joel the best player in this series?
Joel on the court is the best player in this series. Don't give me that 80%, 50% shit. Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Because last year he was. What percent was he last year in the playoffs? He won the best player on the court last
That's
year.
the past is the past. Now is now.
But you're saying any percentage Joel. So what percent was he last year with the broken face?
I don't know. He was on the court.
And he wasn't the best player.
No.
The only thing, Boston's going to win the series because Joel is hurt. I genuinely think if he was
But you thought they were going to win the series before he was hurt.
Yeah.
So you switched up the end. So you were a fraud before this.
No. All I said was let's lock in the series price. That's all I said.
No, you said Boston. Jack, stop.
Yeah.
How many times have you said the Sixers are going to flame out in the second round again?
That was a general statement
was
because
hurt.
that's like saying the sun's coming. That's like saying the sun's coming up. That's like saying like we're going to operate today. The defense of Boston is definitely concerning because Atlanta should have been a really good matchup for them, and they struggled. But the reason that Boston's going to win the series is because Joel Embiid's hurt, and Boston can just throw 8 guys at you, nonstop, relentless. Like there's never a minute where they don't have the best 5 on the floor.
That's exactly what Brooklyn did. That's exactly what Brooklyn did, throwing 5 guys at it. Jack, they were throwing 5 guys at Joel every time.
No. They're throwing Royce O'Neal and Joe Harris at you. Now it's
what
Brogdon.
happened? And
now
what
it's
happened?
D. White. Now it's Marcus Smart. Now it's
Does that
Robert
change?
Williams come off the bench. I'm not talking about guarding Joel. I'm talking about they will have the best 5 players on the floor pretty much. Like the best thing that Doc Rivers does is staggering James and Joel. When Harden's on that floor without Joel is actually one of the more unique lineups that I like. I like that lineup, but Boston's going to be able to match it because they go to the 6th man of the year. They have the best bench player in the NBA. He made you a lot of money. I just think the fact that they can bring Robert Williams off the bench shows that they have insane talent and depth. Now, Tatum is a mess, but Jaylen Brown's playing like the best player on the team. They're just really, really good. I hear you with Mazzulla. I'm aligned. I hear you with the defense, but you guys don't really have the. I just fear that, like Cleveland, New York, I fear that they're going to be able to take care of Niang. I fear they're going to be able to play McDaniels off the floor. I fear
Niang's
that
not going to play.
That's my point. So now how many guys are you going off the bench? You've got one bench guy in this series. Paul Reed is going to be in hell with having to match.
Oh, you don't know ball. Okay, you don't know ball. Awesome.
No, I
Great.
do.
You
I
don't
do.
know ball. No, you don't know ball. That's fine.
No, Paul Reed beats up on. Yes, he beats up on Day'Ron Sharp or whoever. But Robert Williams, it's a different. Are you telling me that you're going to win the Paul Reed minutes?
Bro, nobody's going to bed at night losing sleep over Robert fucking Williams, dude.
Stop.
Nobody's going to bed losing sleep over Robert
nasty.
Williams. Listen, all your analysis is fine, coming from the guy that had the Bucks hoisting the Larry O'Brien trophy. You don't know ball. So we'll see. We'll check rock, we'll play ball, and we'll see. All I'm saying is, Jack,
years. They haven't gone as far as the Knicks.
Okay. Come on. We're good. We're good over here. We're fine in the East.
Talk to me about what happens when the Sixers lose game 1. Like, what's going to change? Because they're going to lose game 1.
The series is 0-0 right now.
They're going to lose game 1.
I don't believe that.
It's just a matter of fact. It's just a matter of fact. You joke about the Cowboys all day long. What could go wrong will go wrong. What's different? Tell me what is different.
Oh, it already went wrong. Charles already hurt.
That's my point. So it will continue to go wrong. Just give me 4. I'm just playing the unbiased side here for all the listeners out there. Give me one difference between this year and the last 5.
The athleticism, the wing depth, the ability to switch on pick and rolls easily. That's just what it's been. That's what it's been off the bench.
Who is the wing depth?
McDaniels, Daniel House, D'Anthony Melton, the ability to switch we haven't had athletic guys who can put the ball on the floor, who can switch on a pick and roll in the last 4 years. We were running with Mike fucking Scott, which don't get me wrong. I know at the time that I talked myself into Mike Scott, but that's just what's sick in the head. But that's what we'll see. Listen, man, nobody knows what's going to happen in this series. You thought you knew that the Bucks were going to walk to the title. You thought they were going to walk past the Heat, and look what happened. This is the NBA. There's parity now.
Well,
We'll
Giannis
see.
got hurt, and
right, and Joel got hurt last year.
hurt. But Joel's hurt.
Okay. Joel's gonna play.
That's the thing.
Joel's gonna play.
Joel is hurt, but he's hurt, and it's gonna be the same thing the last 3 years. He's hurt. Oh, but what if Joel?
Well, so is Quentin Grimes.
Correct. Thankfully, Obi Toppin's not. All right. Well, you seem triggered. You seem triggered and unsettled and uneasy.
I'm not triggered
over
at
the
all.
series.
It's just It's Boston. It's round 2. It's what I'm ready. I want to play.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long weekend till Monday, and it's just the first round is fun and all, but like it's not like I'm locked in, like looking at everything every day before the game. Like I genuinely hate Boston more than I hate the Cowboys. I do. That's it. It's really personal with Boston. I hate them. I love Derek. Like everything I post anti-Boston will come with an asterisk saying not including Derek White. Like that's my guy. But it's personal with Boston, and I fucking hate them. It is. And I want them. You know what? I wanted them. I want them.
No, you don't.
I was rooting for Atlanta a little bit at the end of the game last night.
No, you don't. All right. Well, let's go to the NFL where the baby goat is staying in Baltimore. Oh, man. A tumultuous last few months. Honestly, like half a year at this point. May all the way back to November when he first got hurt. Is he going to play in the playoffs? To he requested a trade. To now the Ravens are looking pretty good. Lamar Jackson gets $260 million, calling Jalen Hurts a broke boy and a broke boys. And he gets $185 guaranteed. For comparison's sake, Jalen Hurts gets $255 and $179 guaranteed. So while Lamar Jackson saves about $7 million with Mama Jackson on the agency call, which is, it's so interesting. Like, he represented himself, but his mom actually repped himself. Like, she probably got the $7 million that a regular agent would have gotten. It's just not going to.
She's probably getting half of that.
Right. So Lamar Jackson is staying in Baltimore. How do we feel about this? I mean, I said it all along. I said, pay Lamar Jackson, pay the man. I have to give credit to Eric DeCosta and the Ravens. They did not balk. They did not give the 230. They didn't give the 200. They did it the right way. Were some feelings hurt along the way? I would imagine so. That's probably why you wanted an agent, to keep emotions out of it. But Lamar Jackson got his deal. And I think this is important because there was a lot of talk about he needs an agent. He needs all this. That's fine. But at the end of the day, this was the same contract offer Lamar Jackson got before the season. So everyone who said he was dumb for not taking the extension before the season, he got hurt. His availability is now in question. He had a down year. He had a tumultuous offseason with the Ravens. And he still landed on that original contract offer, which I think is a really good – it's just good to show that I think the bet was probably worth it. Obviously, there could have been a disaster of an injury, but outside of that, it was all upside. Like, if he was still going to get that offer, I think it's good to show that. So, the Ravens re-sign Lamar. They add OBJ in free agency. They add Zay Flowers last night in the draft, who apparently they love. I would have preferred them to trade the pick and go get Hopkins, get a more stable veteran guy. Ravens, the one thing they can't really draft in the first round is wide receivers, but they've been locked in on Zay. You finally have weapons. More importantly, you finally have a coordinator who knows how to use these weapons. And the Ravens got to be feeling good about themselves right now. Ravens fans are very excited. M&T Bank Stadium, Abe, extended their sponsorship of the stadium, so we can continue to say rob the bank. So that's fun for the next 10, 15 years. And Jalen Hurts got his deal. So you're feeling good about that?
Well, I just got a notification from TMZ, headline, James Harden involved in argument outside Las Vegas hotel.
No.
The series starts on Monday.
No, you're kidding. You swear?
I'm looking at the tweet right now.
Like, you didn't get sacked.
James Harden gets an argument with man in Vegas outside hotel and casino. I'm glad he's in Vegas before Monday.
Check the date. I'm sure that it just got put, but it could have just been like
the article came out at 12:15 last night.
But when did this argument
According to
happen?
the video we obtained, Harden was at an entrance to the Flamingo on the Strip at around 1:25 a.m. on Monday. We're fine. That's 2 days after the Brooklyn series. He was at practice this week. The footage shows the Sixers point guard yelled at the man before he tapped the guy's chest and smacked his face. Yeah, fuck off. Don't talk to James like that. Oh, stop it, bro. We're chilling. Anyway, Lamar got paid. You said
Michael James Harden hitting the casino.
Dude, no, that's actually like how he gets in his, like, he needs to go to a strip club. He needs to go to Atlanta. He needs to go to Houston. So like 2 days in Vegas, that's what we need from him. Anyway, Lamar Jackson got paid. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You were giving credit to Eric DeCosta for not balking. Jack,
Yeah.
There's two people to get credit for this deal getting done. That's Nicole Lynn and that's Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts' contract set the precedent for this contract, and when it came out, all Lamar had to say was, it's like when you're in line at Chipotle, right? And she gives you the first serving of chicken, and you go down the line, and you want to scheme, right? A little bit more, but you don't want to pay for it. So he was like, oh, actually, can I just have a little bit of extra chicken, not double chicken? And that's what Lamar said to the Ravens. Throw in $6 more guaranteed, wipe our hands clean, and let's play football. So Jalen Hurts is what set the market in a year after. It was the first, correct me if I'm wrong, Hurts' contract was the first big QB contract signed after Deshaun Watson, right?
Well, Russ got his. Kyler got his.
I think Russ was.
No, these were all after. This was the first one of like these class of quarterbacks. So let's handshake on it. We beat Burrow, Herbert, Lawrence, all those guys.
Tua.
Don't do that.
Dude, I've been thinking about something. I've been thinking about an angle. I might do the whole, like, outwardly root for Tua all year thing.
My Baker Mayfield approach?
Yeah, like, get him to 10 or 11 wins and, like, earn $200 million guaranteed.
Like, win a playoff game. Win a playoff game, but, like, right on the cusp.
Not that far.
Oh, okay.
I do like this streak. But, like, if they win 11 games and lose in the wild card round, it's, like, not Tua's fault. Like, I don't know. That might be my angle, but yeah, the Lamar contract was just Jalen setting the market and Lamar saying, I'm fine with that, just throwing a few extra pieces of chicken, and that's what they did.
I'm with it. I think everyone's happy, and for those who are like, how do you feel about your window argument? I said it smashes the window shut. We all know that. You can't win with this highest paid quarterback. My
highest paid quarterback is $7 million on the cap.
Yeah, because this is an extension. Lamar was in the last year of his deal, so Ravens will take on, I think, like,
should probably do that earlier then.
Yeah, we probably should have. But I'm happy. You sign your franchise quarterback. You're not. This is what separates the Ravens from those poverty franchises, because we put on a mask. We put on a mask that was like, hey, maybe we actually are kind of trash. No, we recognized, sign Lamar Jackson. Get him weapons. It's 2023, and the Ravens did that. So I got to give props to the Ravens.
The best is the people, like, I saw it with Hurts on Twitter. I see it with Lamar. You'll see it with everyone. It's like, you guys gave him that much money, dude. It's not my money. It's not coming out of my pocket. Give him $300. I don't give a shit. When you have a top 5 quarterback, that's what you do. You pay him a lot of money. A lot of you don't know about that, and that's why you don't have any success with your franchise. That's what you do. Who cares? It's not my money.
Yeah, I could not care less. But let's talk NFL draft. So Bryce Young goes number 1 overall to the Panthers. The Houston Texans said, fuck it, we ball, and went all in on getting C.J. Stroud and then trading up for Will Anderson. You've got Anthony Richardson at 4 to Indy. Jalen Carter falls all the way to 9, who the Eagles swap picks with to go get him. The Ravens wait. They get Zay Flowers. Smith and Jigba goes to the Seahawks at 20. You have Weatherspoon at 5, I believe, to Seattle. They're trying to build the Legion of Boom. You've got Gonzalez falling to the Patriots at 17. You've got Will Levis falling completely out of the first round, which we'll talk about. But draft night 1, I think we were all surprised by one thing. there really wasn't that much activity on the black market, aka the players not in the draft. Cardinals take Hopkins off the block, which was pretty shocking to me. I mean, I know they ran the Texans for everything they had, but I feel like they got to be in sell mode. What did you think of night one of the draft?
Howie Roseman. I don't know why people pick up the phone with this guy anymore. It's just like you have to know you're getting.
Are you referring to the Saints, or because he didn't do anything special last night? Like the Bears weren't going to draft Carter, so he gave up a pick to just go there. You know, he didn't skip any. I'm
just
saying, like
in general. I mean, 3 hours
Bears,
before the draft,
you understand why they would pick up
the Bears. The Bears were taking their guy regardless.
Yeah.
3 hours before the draft came by, Howie moves up 30 picks in the second round to because they stole the worst defensive coordinator in football. He said, "You want my coach? Okay, pay me." The Eagles, presumably from on-field talent, get probably the best talent in the draft in Jalen Carter. We're just the Philadelphia Bulldogs at this point, with Jalen Carter, then Nolan Smith at the end of the round, Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean. But forget about the Eagles. Forget about Jalen Carter. The pick that we need to be here and talk about. Well, we'll talk about Bijan at 8. But the Detroit Lions, baby. Kamir Gibbs, his name is, the Alabama running back. Jahmyr Gibbs, Alabama running back. You know what they say, brother. When you have the opportunity to draft a generational talent at 6th overall at running back, and you already have a guy that you signed in the offseason in David Montgomery, you already still have DeAndre Swift, what's the next thing you have to do? Not take that talent and take a different guy at 12. It is just one running back goes in the top 20 in the last 5 years, I believe. And then 2 go in the top 12 this year. Bijan, we all thought would go to Atlanta or maybe Philadelphia or Dallas early on. He ended up going 8 in what was possibly the most Falcons move ever, right? Because to me, and you can resonate with this a lot, you look at that Falcons roster on week 1, you see them as like a 2-point dog at home. You see all the fire skill players they have. Not anymore. I know you've grown up. But Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Cordarrelle Patterson. You've got all these playmakers. Yeah. Kyle Pitts. You got all these playmakers. You see him as a home dog. You're going to pound the Falcons money line. They're probably going to go 5-12. But that's the sexy pick. And the Lions, they have to be trolling, like genuinely. Like, what you lose Jamal Williams, the leading franchise touchdown runner, and you're a 1 game away from the playoffs, and you think you're a running back away again.
I mean, the funniest part, I saw a great tweet today. I wish I could give credit if I knew off the top of my head, but I will post about that later. The Falcons drafted a 5th-round running back who ran for 1,000 yards, and the Lions picked up a free agent who scored 17 touchdowns. And they said, nah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Let's invest top 12 draft capital. The reason why I won't be betting the Falcons is because Desmond Ridder stinks. He stinks.
And about Jalen Hurts, though. Like, he hasn't had a fair chance. Come on.
No, Desmond Ridder's
Don't
not
be that
good.
guy.
But
don't be that guy.
I didn't realize how many Desmond Ridder, he's not good, trust me. But I didn't realize how many Desmond Ridder people are out there because I posted something and there were like 20 replies like, oh, you're just hating on Desmond Ridder. Like, just watch Desmond Ridder. Okay, I'll give him a fair chance. I'll give him a fair shot at it. The Lions at 12. I always preface these running back takes with like, Bijan's probably going to be pretty good in Atlanta. I actually think out of all the spots he could have gone, it was probably like his worst fantasy spot for all those fantasy players out there. Jahmyr Gibbs, the reason I make fun of the Lions is because they're not a running back away. He's going to be awesome for them. And Ben Johnson, their offensive coordinator, is going to use him in some really, really fun, exciting ways. They'll probably part with Swift at some point. He's just too injury prone, and they've just never loved him, this new leadership there. So I get why they want Jahmyr Gibbs, but you just can't draft a running back at 12. It seems like the internet knows that now. They were all making fun of the Lions for all their moves. But, yeah, 2 running backs in the top 12. We'll see how those 2 teams fare after doing that. And it sucks. I don't know if you were, but I feel like we were on pretty early that the Lions were going to be our cuties of this season. Now you draft a running back at 12, you become kind of a trendy
Kind of just
cutie
ugly.
pick.
No, just ugly, kind of.
Yeah.
Yep, just ugly. But I think the winners of the draft, hands down, are the Texans and the Eagles. Probably they walk out with probably 4 of the top players.
I'm
two
a
of the
pump
top.
I'm a pump the brakes on the Eagles, genuinely.
Because you're
like,
a
not
hater,
from a
or
hateful-
because you can give me actual rationale. Okay, go ahead.
I think there's a world where like everyone knows who the most talented players in the draft are, right? And those two are probably worth the risk. There's no doubt. I think it's tough to call the Eagles the winners without actually like letting it play out a little bit. They got value on paper. There's no doubt about that. But I would argue that the concerns on those players are very real. Like, yes, Jalen Carter is maybe, but if not, one of the top players in the draft. But the off the field concerns are real. Like, they're serious.
Sure. But do you think that there's a better situation for Jalen Carter to overcome those off field issues than with familiar players, with familiar teammates, in an organization that has a good culture, good infrastructure in place, that has taken chances on guys in the past and have given them a second chance, have had success with guys with off the field issues?
Who have those guys been besides Vic?
Well, Vic's a big one. Come on, counts for 2.
No, I guess you could make the argument back of like, well, he had those issues with those teammates, so is this the best situation to reunite with them? I'm not
cried
saying,
when he got drafted. He's fine.
And the Nolan Smith stuff isn't off the field either. It's the injury history and then the size. But I do think that yes, drafting, it's easy to get excited about 2 players who starred on the best defense in college football reuniting with their former teammates. All I'm saying is did you say Houston was a winner?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Houston was a winner. They gave up
I do think they got fleeced they got fleeced by Arizona, but like anytime you can leave with
I'm pretty sure the winner of round 1 is like everyone says is Seattle. They got a star corner, and then they got Smith and Jigba, who they thought were going to go as high as 10 or 12. So the Eagles, I'm just pausing on them. I'm not saying that they had a bad draft. It's just a lot has to kind of play out for them. But cap of the week was this guy on Reddit, not me, some other guy, said that Will Levis was telling teammates or telling family that Carolina was taking him with the first overall pick.
He might have
40-1.
Wait, who's capping? Who's capping? Reddit guy or Will? Remains to be seen.
Point. That is a really good point. He goes from 40-1 to 2-1 to be the first overall pick. Shout out. I think it was just someone who wanted to make some money on Bryce Young. Just started that rumor so they could get better odds on Bryce Young.
Genius.
Will Levis does not get drafted in the first round, which shocked me. We weren't high on him, but to not, in a quarterback-driven league, to not get drafted round 1, he had like 19 different women on the couch with him at some point during the process because ESPN showed him 19,000 times in the green room. Every time someone was taken, they would say, oh, there was this % chance he was still going to be here. I don't know who's going to draft him. Someone will in round 2.
I was going to say, is this early he comes off the board, or are we looking at a Malik Willis situation in your opinion?
So he's
because at the top of the second round, you have, I think Detroit could talk themselves into taking a quarterback. I think the Rams most certainly can talk themselves into taking a quarterback. Yeah. Maybe the Raiders can talk themselves into taking a quarterback. You still have the Titans there who were talking about trading up for Stroud. So, and they waited on Malik Willis last year. So I think that Will Levis could come off the board early. However, if you want to spin this as it's going to be a chip on his shoulder and Will Levis is going to shock the world and he actually is all he was supposed to be in a top 5 pick, these teams are smarter than us. There is a reason he didn't go last night, guys. That's just how I feel about it. It's the same reason Malik Will. Yeah, I mean, I put the bus tag on Will Levis before the draft even started, so my brand is off to a hot start.
There's
actually not really, because if he's bad now. He wasn't a first round, so he's not really a
Right.
bust.
There's these rumors about a toe injury being the reason he's falling. Like, the only type of toe injury that, like, you got to get your toe amputated. I feel like that's the only reason why someone would drop that far, because any toe injury doesn't seem like it would affect your game that much. But Anthony Richardson, I'm most excited for the Colts because they made a non-traditional pick for them, and I hope they knock it out of the park with Richardson.
Yeah, they just have to put the right pieces around him, but I'm very happy the Colts made the right decision. And most certainly if Richardson is everything that we think he is, it's just another piece of wood in the fire in the AFC quarterbacks, baby. The AFC is just loaded with quarterbacks. I mean, I think Bryce Young is automatically the second best quarterback in the NFC now at this point.
Yeah. All right. Who's your cap of the week?
Oh, my cap of the week goes out to someone probably in the air right now, back to his motherland to go on vacation in Greece, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Everyone knows the Heat knock off the Bucks in 5 in a surprising upset, and Giannis took the podium after and was asked by someone named Eric. I don't know his last name. I would try and give proper credit. Essentially, was this season a failure after losing in the first round? And then Giannis goes on a 2-minute rant, which I will say was very eloquently said, was very maturely said. He even apologized for bringing personal matters into it and for bringing it up. He really wanted to drive across his point that he was trying to make, and I think he did that in a good way. And that's why everyone's like, Giannis is the best. How could you not love Giannis? Which, of course, we can love Giannis for him being mature and not just shutting down that reporter right away and handling his anger in a sensitive moment in a different way. However, the actual message he was trying to convey is blatant cap. He was asked, is this season a failure? And he said, no, this season's not a failure. Michael Jordan was in the NBA for 15 years. He won 6 championships. Does that mean the other 9 were a failure? Giannis, ask Michael Jordan. Ask Kobe Bryant if the years where he didn't win a championship, it was a failure. I get what he's trying to say. You cannot win the championship every single year that you're in the NBA. However, it is extremely ignorant to say that when you're the number 1 seed with the best record in basketball, you've already been there. You're already accomplished, know what it takes to win a championship. So you have that maturity, that experience, a veteran-filled team. And you're playing against a team who had to beat the Chicago. They lost the first playing game. They had to beat the Chicago Bulls to get in. And to be honest, they beat you guys with ease in 5 games. It wasn't this 6 or this 7. That's a failure. Like, it's okay to fail. It's okay to have failure. And I think Giannis was trying to say there's no failure in sports. That's not true. That's what sports are. It's either you succeed and you win, or you lose and you fail. You can still learn within failure. And now I'm getting kind of deep and mature on this, but it makes me mad that, not mad, but it makes me annoyed.
I was going to say, I feel like it's not like something that's making
I'm
people
not mad or
upset
annoyed
mad.
because, like, I understand what he was
disagree.
going for.
Yeah.
I understand what he was going for. And you know what I really disagree with? And this is actually what I don't like about the whole situation. I think the reporter was well within their right to ask that question.
No, people have backed him. No,
I think the reporter.
Upset.
I've seen people that are upset about
credit.
that question.
No, the
that's what you asked.
Media, he got a really good response out of Giannis. It was clearly a meaningful question. They had a relationship, right? Giannis was talking directly to him. I think, like, people were they wanted to troll the Bucks in some way. They wanted to talk about the series, but no one really knew how or why. And this is kind of the path that everyone went down.
I know, because there was an element where Giannis did show a bit of anger in that. He was like, so don't ask that question, bro, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, while he did go about it in a mature way, there were parts in that long rant where you could say, okay, Giannis is really pissed about this question, which he has a right to be. Like, he just got upset in the first round. He failed.
That's their job.
He failed.
Yeah.
that the guy's doing his job. Every other reporter on every other beat team and every other team in the country would have asked a similar question if that team was a minus 1,200 favorite to win in the first round.
I was with people in Cleveland, and we were having the conversation, was their season a failure, right? They went from 30 wins to 51, right? So you're a 50-win team, and no one thought that this was going to be the year for them. So was it a failure? I think they were saying no. Is it a disappointment? Yes. The Bucks season is different, though, because they were the 1 seed. They have the championship acumen. They've traded 5 second-round picks for Jay Crowder, and then you lose in 5 games and disaster class. The real takeaway, though, is I think this probably turns into a blessing in disguise for the Bucks. Now, long-term, I actually have always felt that once he got his 1 in Milwaukee, there was a really good chance he would leave at some point in time. The problem is he's probably the most – no, but he has 2 years, and Wendy's already talking about how he's not going to sign an extension. The problem is he's the most untradeable player ever. Like KD, at least he was 30-something, and in the back half in a bad situation. Like, what could you trade 6 first-round picks for Giannis? Like, it's going to be impossible to trade for him. But they got Middleton on a player option. They got Brook Lopez, a free agent. They got Budenholzer, who needs to be fired. Please fire this guy. Honestly, this might sound like a hot take. I would say that this is kind of similar to LeBron in Cleveland the first time around. Now, they put slightly better players around him, but they put an incompetent coach, and the only difference is that things broke Giannis's way. Like KD stepped on the line, and Kyrie turned his ankle, and Harden's hamstring, and they got the Suns in the playoffs because Davis got hurt. Like, I really think it's akin to a very similar situation, and I would love to see Giannis on like an actually really good team. Break the pieces down.
Don't do that. Don't do that, Jack.
What do you mean?
Don't say that the Bucks aren't actually a really good team.
Break the pieces down. Break the pieces. Like, start to strip Giannis away. Dude, start to Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton,
Jack,
Drew Holiday.
He plays with two All-NBA. Stop.
Stop.
No. This is what you're doing. You're bailing out Giannis because he's your guy. Now Giannis doesn't have the help.
No.
Before it was the Bucks were winning the championship. Now it's Giannis doesn't have the help because he lost in 5 in the first round.
Because
you're
of
backpedaling.
Giannis.
Shut up.
No.
Don't do that.
Do you think that team's that good?
I think that if I was a Bucks fan, I would be totally happy with going into next season with the same core.
They don't even have a second star.
Yes, they do. Drew Holiday's a star. Drew Holiday's a
Stop.
star. Chris Middleton's a star.
Stop.
That's all I've been told for the last 3 years. Why the Bucks are winning the championship? Because of the roster that Giannis has around him. And now that they lose in the first round, you're backpedaling.
The Bucks are winning the championship because they have fucking Giannis.
But I want to talk about what you said about Cleveland and it being not a disappointment or not a failure this season.
A disappointment.
No, it's a failure.
I think
it's a failure. Failure, in my opinion, in sports is relative to what you're expected to do, what you've done versus what you're going to do. Like, you don't sign Donovan Mitchell with the expectation of we're just going to get into the playoffs. You sign Donovan Mitchell with all these young pieces around.
They hosted a playoff series.
Yeah, you have to win, and that's why it's a failure.
All right, so the Sixers season, they win this round and lose in the conference finals.
Failure.
What is it?
Failure.
They lose in the NBA finals in Game 7.
Failure.
That's just your expectations. No one would.
Yeah, it's expectations. It's expectations versus reality and results.
Failures require change, and if the Sixers lost on a Kawhi-esque shot in Game 7 of the finals, they'd run it back.
Yeah, it's all relative about what actually goes down. But my opinion, and that's my expectations and how I view failure, is championship or bust for this team.
You can say that all day, but you can't actually unbiasedly think if the Sixers advance past the conference finals that this season's a failure. That would be the furthest they've gone in 20 plus years.
But
was the Eagles season a failure?
But Jack, what you're missing is that would mean we have lost to the Knicks or the Heat with home court advantage in that round if we just go to the conference finals. That's a failure.
All right, so what if you lose in the finals?
I mean, I can understand why it wouldn't be a failure, but to me it would be. You know what I mean?
Was the Eagles season a failure?
No, that was fire.
Was the Philly season a failure?
The Eagles season Yeah. At the end of the day, there's one winner and 31 or 2 losers. 30 losers every.
That's not accurate, though. That's not accurate. Just because you're not the
competing
best does not make it a failure.
Well, your team isn't competing for a championship.
Which team? The team that's minus 160 to get to the conference finals? A round you haven't been to in 20 plus years?
Speaking of you guys have been there.
2000?
Yeah, 20 plus years.
Yeah. Oh, to the conference finals? In 12. They lost to the Pacers in the conference final. All right, Eagleson.
True. That's not true.
Yeah, it is.
Keep going. Bring in Eagleson.
Maybe that was the semis.
It was.
Yeah, they weren't going to the final.
You guys have been in the playoffs twice in this century.
Delphina is back.
There she is.
Eagleson is home from college, but more importantly, Eagleson.
Yeah.
What's with Whoa. What's with the monotone?
It seems like he feels like it's gonna happen all over again.
Jack.
Last night I was laying in bed and I could physically feel the same feelings I felt in that Montreal series where they blew the 3-1 lead. I could feel the pressure on my body. It was I can't even put it into words. I am terrified.
I was going to say, those were the next words out of my mouth, is I was going to say that you're up 3-2 and you win one game and you advance, they have to win 2. That's what it comes down to.
Yes.
I was going to put a little bit of motivation in you, but I can just see straight through your soul that you are fucking terrified right now. You're spiraling into old habits.
Are
the players though?
So that I don't think so. They have played so well and so much differently. They've played it was all of game 1 and then 2 periods of last night where they looked like that old team. Every other time it has legitimately felt different. I know everyone says that, but it's been there. They're playing fucking Tampa. They stole 2 games. It has been different. But me personally, I'm terrified. We're going back to Tampa now for game 6.
Hey.
If they win that and we go back to Toronto for 7, I might spontaneously combust. I don't know if I could handle that mentally and physically.
Andrew, let me use your mind a little bit.
Okay.
You're minus 430 to win the series right now. 430.
Really?
Yeah. Value on Tampa, huh? Eagleson, you guys have been one of the best teams all year. You're up 3-2. You've got to win 1 out of 3
We've been amazing,
games.
and I'm saying this. We could still go into Tampa and put our fucking foot on their neck and kill them and finish this.
Exactly.
But at the same time, that's just the little seed of doubt creeping into my mind. The past 8 years.
Yeah,
we have lost.
Fool me. It's like fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Fool me 75
Fool me
times.
8 fucking times.
Yeah.
It's so I do still believe that they can go in there and kill them in 6. That's the only way that it happens. But that seed of doubt, that seed of doubt is most definitely there. And I guess you guys, this won't mean shit to you. Take Justin Hall out of the fucking lineup.
Yeah!
He was on for 14 of the 19 goals against. This guy is a pylon. Put in Liljegren. He's sitting there in the box. Just dress him. Take Hall out of the lineup. It's ridiculous. He's a traffic cone. Thank you,
baby. Traffic cone.
Thank you.
When's game 6? Tomorrow night?
Yeah.
Saturday.
And 7's Monday. I'll put it like this. There's a 90% chance I'll be in Toronto with Eagleson on Monday if this series goes 7.
You'll come?
I think we need to do that.
I won't be there because I have Boston on.
I feel like we have to. I'm undefeated. They're undefeated when I'm in the building, so I feel like it's the only way.
Andrew, be careful when you go to a game with this guy. Because he's always there with a hidden motive.
No, it depends who I'm rooting for. How much is it going to be to get into a Leafs game for game 7?
$1 million.
Oh, yeah.
It's
pricey.
It's pricey. A lot for the earlier games in the first round, it was cheaper to fly to Tampa and watch a game there than it was to buy a ticket in Toronto.
Game
which
7,
is ridiculous.
Eagleson, if and only if necessary.
Yeah.
Can still win game 6, all right?
You can get in the door for 400.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Get in the door.
American. So
Yeah, but Austin Matthews, the score is free in Game 7, so it's pay for your own trip.
He scored last night too. He's so.
I know. He's so good.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question about the series in general, because it's 3-2,
Sure.
and
you also have a lot of money on the line.
Me?
Why?
No, Eagleson. Remember, you doubled down on your bet with the fan you have money to.
Oh, that fucking guy. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Answer me honestly with this, because obviously I haven't watched a minute of this series. I've box score watched a little bit, and the game that I really did box score watch, the 2 games, were last night and was Game 5 or Game 4 when you guys were down 3-1 and had that crazy
4-1.
third period. 4-1. Sorry.
Yep. 4-1. Yeah.
So you guys had that crazy comeback, then you lost last night.
Yeah. Yep.
Has Tampa been the better team in this series, period by period?
No.
Because
no.
Because I'm saying
they haven't.
They dominated game 4 until they didn't. They dominated game 1 apparently, and then they won last night. It's like period by period, maybe they have been the better team.
The first
or is the
two
puck just
periods
bouncing their way?
So here I'll start with this. The refs have been awful. Everyone says that. I know this year they've acted like everyone's talking about it. It has been a huge thing. When do you see 7-goal playoff games in hockey? I know you guys don't really watch, but that's not like a common thing. So there's been lots of penalties, so lots of power plays, more scoring. That usually doesn't happen. I feel like that maybe has a little bit to do with it. I do think that Toronto's been better though. I don't know. They just have so much fight in them. We're never on the other end of that. We're always blowing the 4-1 lead, doing shit like that. But they've had fight in them. They've been coming back over time. They look strong. I'm so nervous. Oh my god.
I think you're good. I think it ends.
You think
I
we're
do
good?
too. Honestly, I do
is
too.
it tonight or tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
I think it ends tomorrow in Tampa. Take all 3 on the road. Fuck it.
That wouldn't that be fucking crazy if they?
But then
won
you
all
play
3
the
on road?
Bruins and you're gonna get ass blasted. So
Not necessarily. Florida's giving them a run for their money. It's not over yet.
you're gonna get trounced by Florida.
Hey, just happy to be
By
there.
No,
by Boston. Sorry.
No, if we get out of the first round, there is a 0.000% chance that we don't win the Stanley Cup. I guarantee it.
That is not how it works. It's not how it works.
How is that not how it works?
Because this is what everyone always says. It's like, we just got to get over that hump. There's
we
levels.
Just get this
It's
monkey off our back, and we will do it.
That doesn't equal a championship.
Yes.
It's the same thing with the
It
Sixers. It's like, all we got to do is beat Boston. Like,
No, but now actually all we have to do is do that. Giannis
all we have to do is get out of the first round.
Eagleson has
Whoever we play in the conference.
Eagleson has the best
Whoever we
team
play
of
in the
all
conference
time.
finals. Yes.
Eagleson has the
Go
best
ahead.
team of all time waiting for him in the second round. I have Isaiah Hartenstein in the conference finals. It's actually just beat Boston for us.
There's a round after the conference finals. There
Jokic?
is a round.
Jokic?
In hockey, if we can, whoever comes out of the other side of the Eastern Conference final, wash. They're so soft on that side.
You have
Rangers,
to beat
Canes,
Boston.
doesn't matter.
Let's go, Eagleson.
Florida's already showing them that much. They have looked bad. Their goaltending, remember when I said this preseason? Their goaltending has been unreal. This entire year, they've started to look shaky. It's not been what it was during the regular season. So they've got to hold there. Florida snuck into the playoffs barely, and they're about to fucking push this to 7. So if that tells you anything about Boston. Also, Taylor Hall has been one of their best players. He's like a third liner. If we can get to the conference finals, the Rangers, Carolina, those teams are so soft. It'll be a wash if we
The
can.
Devils are winning.
Yeah, so it could be the Devils. Whatever.
You just backpedaled. You said if you beat Tampa, you're winning the Stanley Cup, and then you said if we get to the conference finals.
So I'm saying, like, when we get there, it will. It's easy. It's easy is what I'm trying to say. The teams coming off of that side will be a wash, and whoever comes out of the West, it doesn't even fucking matter. So that's why if we do beat Tampa, it's game.
Jack, isn't it crazy how it's April 28th and the Leafs are one game away from hoisting the cup, and the Sixers are 4 games away from hoisting the Larry O'Brien?
It really is incredible.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Oh my god, you guys are hilarious, both of you. But I have confidence, Eagleson. I have full confidence they're going to win the series and then get smoked by Boston.
Can I give you a stat that they flashed on the screen last night?
Hell yeah.
So I'll throw it up on the screen afterwards. This can be our internet graphic. The Leafs core five, so Matthews, Nylander, Marner, Tavares, and Riley, are now 0-10 in series clinching games in their careers, with abysmal stats.
Together or individually?
Individually, Tavares, I think he's won one game with the Islanders, so he's like 1-9, whatever. But collectively, they have not won a single series clinching game.
Well, no shit. They're on the Leafs. If
it
they're
was
on
even
the
when
Leafs,
they're off the Leafs.
Abe, say it louder, please.
They're due, baby. They're due.
They're fucking due. If that doesn't tell you, and especially because they're flashing those graphics, that's usually just when those things change. So, let's do it.
True.
Kill them. Kill them in Tampa.
Jigs.
Nick Paul, you look like your parents are siblings. Corey Perry, I fucking hate you. Let's go. Go Leafs.
all right. So the Leafs, feeling good about them. And the Dolphins looked awesome in the first round last night. Great pick. Sean Payton and Tom Brady will be suiting up for Miami.
It's a bad draft anyway. Yeah.
I like that angle.
It's a good spin.
I like that.
It's a good angle.
What do the Finns do over the rest of the draft that would make you excited to add to the best team on paper? Oh, Zay Flowers is apparently Tyreek Hill, so I guess we'll just compare peace signs next season. But yeah, what can the Finns do?
So the last remaining pieces I see on our roster that we need before we're legitimately the perfect roster is another tackle,
a quarterback,
and maybe a running back, but we don't even really need one. We could maybe, I know there's another great tight ends in this draft. Grab another tight end because Gesicki left. Other than that, if we can get a tackle and a tight end, oh my god, watch out.
Who is your starting tight end this year?
Right now,
Smythe.
Durham is. I think it is Durham Smythe. We have another guy. We traded Hunter Long. There might be another guy on the roster.
Best roster with Durham Smythe at TE1.
That's why we.
What about Tua Tagovailoa?
What about him?
Nothing, Andrew.
You trying to say he's bad?
Yes.
Yeah. I thought you were running with he's good and you want him to get the bag.
He might
win a playoff game
retire
maybe
in the next 2 weeks.
He's not gonna retire. Stop. And if he does, then Tom's just gonna come play the rest of the year. So.
That would be a good thing.
I was legitimately thinking about this. If let's say Tua hits his head week 2, right? And he's like, I'm done. I can't do this. Tom, I don't see that as out of the realm of possibility.
No, I actually think that might be what one could consider a likely situation.
Yeah, wouldn't that? Who knows what it would even be like? But I guess
it would be hilarious.
I'm down if
Yeah,
that happens.
rooting for head injuries.
Whoa, stop! I didn't say that.
You did.
If it did happen, Tom, you're welcome in Miami. Dolphina would love to have you.
Tom, Tom, that. The Leafs are 1 game away from the second round. The Knicks and the Sixers are in the second round. Boys, this is our time.
Have we evaluated what a Sixers-Knicks series would look like?
Jack, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to eat for lunch today. I still have a lot of LCL research to do. I have to listen to the Celtics podcast to hear what they're thinking. Pump the brakes, asshole.
It would be funny because obviously you guys would feel like favorites and similar to the Atlanta series.
Feel or would be favorites?
No, you would, but you would feel like you're coming from a let's not fuck this up point of view instead of like Miami, we're the favorites, but it should be a good series. The two teams are pretty evenly matched.
Same with Boston. They're the favorites, but it should be a good series.
Sure. Sixers, it would feel like, once again, it would be a failure if they didn't get there.
Don't play with your food. Don't play with your food.
Don't play with your meat, I think, is what your coach says, actually.
But then the players, he is the horniest guy on the internet. We knew that already. But then the players corrected him. It's don't play with your food, Doc.
James Harden was in
Asking
Vegas.
James Harden not to play with his meat, please. That's one way to coach him.
James Harden was in Vegas. This shit is the same old story. Celtics in 8. All right, Eagleson. Good luck tomorrow night. Tight series.
Yeah.
Good luck tomorrow night. Knicks game 1 on Sunday. Game 7, if necessary, on Monday in Toronto. Sixers game 1 in Boston on Monday night. Lamar Jackson is signed. Jalen Hurts is signed. The Dolphins didn't draft a bust in the first round. The Orioles are the hottest team in baseball. Texas got Max Asmus in the transfer portal. The Philadelphia Phillies are playing better baseball. The Blue Jays are solid. The Dolphins, like I said, have Tom Brady starting by week 3. Pod's thriving. And as we always say, fuck. That's bad news, fellas. Who's going to be the first domino to fall in this group? We'll see. We will see. All right, everyone. Have a great
I think we know the
weekend.
answer to that one.
Do we?
I mean, there's 2 teams in the second round and 1 team in the first round still. I'm sorry, Wilson. We've seen this movie before.
I mean, we've seen every single one of these movies before.
Not the Knicks in the second round.
Yeah.
This is a rewatch to the maximum. All right, boys. Have a great weekend. Much love. Peace.